Hello and welcome to another trip report. I'm all wet. This time on the ferry from Oslo to Copenhagen. It's being operated by DFDS Seaways. What I do in this video, I will show you the ferry terminal of Oslo and show you this vessel, of course, tell you all about it, and also tell you something about the other routes of DFDS Seaways. Maybe some views from the ferry, I don't know. It's kind of hard to film. Right now we're leaving the Oslo fjord. If you like this video or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more train and ferry related videos, this channel is mainly focusing on long distance and international train and ferry traveling. Subscribe to my channel, and well, that's it for now. Let's roll the intro and take a dive. For those of you who maybe already noticed, I uploaded this video very shortly on my channel before, but it got demonetized. In the Malaga to Madrid video where the same thing happened, I explained what happened, but for now let's dive into the topic of this video. I arrived a day earlier in Oslo by train from Kristiansand, and to Kristiansand I went there with a ferry from Eemshaven in the Netherlands. At the moment of recording, this was a brand new ferry connection. And of course I also made a trip report on that, also on the train to Oslo. And at the moment I'm redoing the voiceover. I have some more trip reports in and around here, so if you want to check it out you can find them in the description of this video. Oslo is a very walkable city, and the ferry terminal of DFDS Seaways is not that far away from the railway station. You can also take buses, though this ferry terminal is only being used by DFDS Seaways. Other international ferries from and to Oslo use their own terminal. I really would like to see that different ferry companies will use the same terminal, so you basically also have more facilities for passengers. Anyway, you can check in with these vending machines, but that didn't work for us. Because we booked our ticket through a travel agency what was more affordable at the end for a package deal. We had to go to a ticket counter, and that was also located over there. In the ferry terminal there are also some lockers, so if you want to drop your stuff before you go into the city, no need to worry about that. At the moment we were here and dropping off our luggage, the ferry came already in, and after we went for a little wander in the city, we could go to the ferry straight away. This here is right after your ticket and passport have been checked. And this space is huge, although it didn't seem to be much utilized. Access to the ferry is at a higher level, and to this higher level you find an elevator, an escalator and of course stairs. And this here is the gate that will bring me on board of the ferry for today. On the route Copenhagen-Oslo, DFDS is using two ships, Crown Seaways and Pearl Seaways. Today I'm traveling on board of Pearl Seaways, and this vessel is slightly bigger than Crown Seaways. By the way, if you're traveling by car, you enter the vessel from here. For now let's have a closer look at the network map of DFDS Seaways. And even though this is a Danish ferry company, there's only one passenger ferry that's also going to Denmark. The most popular route for DFDS Seaways is between France and the UK. It's not a matter of if, but more a matter of when. But the route IJmuiden-Newcastle, IJmuiden is just outside of Amsterdam, is also on my list to make a video on. Not because I just want it, because it's also an obvious way for me to travel to the northern part of the UK. This here is a network map of the freight routes of DFDS Seaways. It's really a pity that there are no passengers being taken on these routes, because I don't need all this luxury you can find at a cruise ferry like we have on this section of the route. Just read a book and enjoy the view, that's it, nothing more. Anyway, back to our vessel for today, the Pearl Seaways by DFDS Seaways between Oslo and Copenhagen. Directions have been marked very clear throughout the vessel, both with maps but also arrows that will point to what can be found where. And you find a lot of cabins, I can tell you that. Before I will show you the public spaces, let me show you the cabins on board of this vessel. By the way, ferries are a different thing than cruise ships, also in terms of sustainability. Where cruise ships are really unsustainable, ferries are actually quite a sustainable way of transportation. Before I show you my cabin, let me show you the other cabins I found, because I entered this vessel quite early, so I could sneak in some of the other cabins. This here is a 2-bed outside cabin. It's not very big. There's some space for luggage below the bed, but quite a lot of people do travel on board of this ferry by car. And well, there is some place for luggage. It's a little bit tight though. This here is a bigger outside cabin, ideal for if you're traveling with a family. There's also a small desk and the bathroom is about the same size as what I showed you earlier. And this here is a 4-berth inside cabin with bunk beds. It still needed to be cleaned, obviously. For this video I will show you the rather simple accommodations you can find on board of this vessel. And for all these accommodation counts you find both in and outside cabins. So with a window or without a window. Obviously the cabins with a window are in general a bit more pricier. You also find more luxury cabins, but unfortunately I couldn't sneak in one of those. You're staying on board of these vessels. You get a card. This is your card with also access to your cabin. If you're traveling all the way to Oslo, from between Oslo and Copenhagen, you're obligated to book a cabin. There's also another stop in Denmark. I think if you're traveling between that stop and Oslo, you don't need to make a reservation for a cabin. We have deck 5 and cabin number 407, so 5407. These are the most simple accommodations you can find on this vessel. And well, for now I'll show you. These are inside cabins. So let me put on the lights. This is a 2-bed cabin. Well, of course, 2 beds. There's a reading light, personal reading light for both beds. Power plug over here. They were giving some free COVID tests in Norway, so I got some. Bathroom. Let me put on the lights. I will test the shower tomorrow as well. But in general, this is in ferries. Ferries, it's very good. Sink, toilets. And this is one of the biggest advantages of traveling on a ferry, because most of the time you have an ensuite shower and bathroom, and I really like this. A phone. I don't know what for. Coat hanger. You find the stairs you can hang for the upper beds. And there's a TV. And what is most of the time, I haven't checked this out by the way, but what most of the time if you're on a ferry, let me check. Yes, you have this channel, but it's not working that well. That sound at least. Let me check. But what I meant, yeah, the front camera. Well, this is the front. Nice. But for the rest, I think everything is in Danish or Swedish, or Danish or Norwegian, maybe some English, also English. So, but I'm not going here to watch TV. Small desk as well, more power plugs, climate control. At the door there are some safety instructions, by the way, where to go to for the nearest exits. And I think, what's this? I have no idea what it is. If you know this, let me know in the comments. I think, what I also noticed, by the way, I just came from another ferry from the Netherlands to Norway. There was a lot of sound from the hallway, and this is pretty, I don't hear anything. That's really good. Let me check if there's light leaking. Yes, well, you cannot see it on camera, but at the lower part there's some light leaking, so there must be some sound leaking from that as well. It's okay, because it's the way they designed this vessel. This is actually like a corner where people don't walk around, so that's very good. And by the way, you're laying here with your head. These cabins are smaller than on other ferries. Yeah, what else do I need to say? It's pretty good. And I will also show you something of other accommodations while we were having a wander at the vessel. I also filmed some of the other accommodations. For now, let's just continue with this video. For the most luxury cabins, there are some special facilities as well. Apart from the fact that these cabins are way bigger, there's a special lounge area as well, a kind of lounge club area where free drinks and some bites are included as well. For this area there's also a small outside area, but that's really tiny, as you can see over here. More information about the different kinds of accommodations and what is included and not can be found on the website of DFDS Seaways, what I link in the description of this video. For now, let's take a wander in the public spaces on board of this vessel. Like you can expect as an everyday passenger. The reception or front desk is the heart of the vessel. This is not the point where you board this vessel, but all the public spaces are very easy accessible from this area. And therefore it's easy to find. You can even buy souvenirs at the reception. And close to the reception there's also some information. Well, I think it's the most obvious spot to find this. Right next to the point where you find the information there's this small arcade hall. I guess fun for kids, but I think not a lot of people would take this vessel because of the arcade hall. If you move a little bit more to the back of the vessel, you find these pickup points for the tax-free shop. I think it's mainly being used for if you want to buy something from the tax-free shop and you, at the moment the shop has been closed or whatever and you're already at land, so the tax-free shop is closed, you can pick it up over here. The tax-free shop itself, it's quite big and it's the usual things you can expect at the tax-free shops. Quite a lot of alcohol and tobacco, perfume, but also some fashion related items. Especially with the high prices for alcohol in Norway, this is a popular spot for people to buy their alcoholic drinks. Well, I think you have a good impression of what you can find in the tax-free shop. And for now I think it's time to move on and show you what else you can find on board of this vessel. Even though tax-free plays a big role for international ferries, it's not the only thing. Something where my travel companion wasn't much into, but when I will be traveling with my girlfriend I would definitely spend some time here, is the spa area. There are some saunas and you can even get a massage. At this vessel there are lots of public toilets and in general I found the cleanness of these toilets pretty good, to be honest. Situated at the back of this vessel, at deck number 8, you find the Columbus Club. This is a place where you can go to for a drink and a bite. At daytime there's some entertainment for kids and later at night there's some more entertainment for grown-up people. And the reason why I like this part most is because of the great sea views. You have this from both the back but also from the sides of this part of the vessel. A bit more at the front you find some more cafes and restaurants. For example over here, this is more like a kind of a pub, and later at night there's some live music over here as well. Right next to that there are 2 other restaurants. During our crossing it was rather busy. Therefore I highly recommend you to reserve a spot in a restaurant. Because otherwise you might have to eat quite late at night like we had, because most slots were gone. And this is in general my advice for if you're on a more popular ferry crossing where, well, it might be fully booked. In general the prices are not really low. The Italian pizza place called Little Italy is the most affordable restaurant on board of this vessel. But, well, prices are a bit higher than in the rest of Europe, but remember, you're still in Scandinavia after all. Something I really like and what's ideal for business travelers is the conference center. You can basically travel and have a meeting at the same time. There were quite some conference rooms. I wasn't able to sneak in them, but I could hold my camera right above the windows and have a quick look within these conference areas. And they're quite nice, you find different sizes of them. At the central area of the conference space you find this light dome. Ideal for if you have different conferences or workshops or so, and in the meantime you meet up with other people. And even though this is not the fastest connection because it makes an intermediate stop, this way having a business trip and traveling goes hand in hand together. For commercial drivers there's a special lounge, but I couldn't film there because it's for truck drivers only. Located at deck 10 at the back of the vessel you'll find 2 jacuzzis. This is also where I recorded the introduction of this video. Obviously the jacuzzi was quite a popular spot, especially because it's for free. But I could find 10 minutes to have it for myself to record the introduction of this video. There's also a small pool between the jacuzzis. I think this is only being used in the summertime, but if you know this, let me know in the comments. The higher decks are the sun decks, basically outside, and in the summertime there's also a bar located over here. Yes, another one, there are quite a lot of them. The bar is located at deck 11. At the other decks you only find some places where you can have a sit outside, but that's basically it. There's not much around here. I hope I gave you a good impression of what to expect if you are traveling on board of this vessel. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to film the views from the vessel because it was a little bit too much in the distance from my camera. However, at the moment the vessel is in the Oslo fjord, you have some really nice views. And just a spoiler alert, this is pretty, but this is definitely not the prettiest part of Norway. I mean, Norway is just a stunning country. About connectivity on board, there is Wi-Fi, it's not for free, and there's also a mobile maritime network. If you're using a mobile maritime network, please do keep in mind that the costs for using it can be extremely high. Even though the vessel will stay near the coast, the strongest signal will be from the maritime networks, so just switch your phone to flight mode or be prepared for extremely high phone bills. Or just buy the Wi-Fi but still put your phone on flight mode. As we were almost in Copenhagen, I was able to sneak in the car deck real quick. I mean, this is quite a big ferry that also can take quite a lot of cars and trucks. Somehow I feel like this is quite a popular connection for passengers that do a mini cruise as well, and people who just want to have an overnight connection between two capital cities. Also from the ferry terminal building in Copenhagen, what is much more modern than the one in Oslo by the way, but just as useful in terms of facilities as the one in Oslo, not that much. You find a good connection by public transport to the city center and the railway station. There's a special bus connected on this ferry. But I took the bike, Donkey Republic. I really like Donkey Republic. I'm using it a lot, and it's actually a Danish company. I'm using it a lot in The Hague and Rotterdam. And this way I could also visit one of the most popular sites in Denmark before continuing my way by bike to the central station. Denmark is a true cycling country, just like the Netherlands where I'm from. Anyway, I took a train from Copenhagen to Hamburg in Germany, and after that I continued my way back home to the Netherlands by train. So that's it for this video. I'm right now at Copenhagen main station. From here I've taken in the city to Hamburg in Germany, from where on I move homebound to the Netherlands. I will not make a video about that. I already have trip reports on those routes. Not all of them have been published yet at the moment of recording. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do so, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more train and ferry related videos where I'll tell you more about long distance or international train and ferry traveling, subscribe to my channel and see you on my next video. If you are interested in other trip reports, in the description of this video on YouTube you find a link to a map, and on this map you can find all trip reports I did. The lines to indicate the routes and the icons to indicate the railway station, ferry terminal or bus station reviews. Once again, thank you for watching and see you on the next video.